Just another brother with another humble question. Just another brother with another humble question.
Welcome to A Brother with Questions. I am your host, B. Period. Man, I appreciate you for joining me. Woo! We're gonna talk tonight about nepotism, just a little bit, just a tad bit. But before we get started, let me not forget to ask you to like and subscribe to the channel, share and comment. Man, that's how we grow these videos. So I appreciate all of you who are subscribing and sharing to share this content so we can help grow this channel. So let's dive right into it, man. I've been hearing a lot of people talk about it, but we had Northwest over the weekend performed at the Hollywood Bowl during the live performance of The Lion King. And before I speak on it, I'm gonna just show you what everybody else saw. Here we go. Okay, there we go. I'm just back on out. That's all I really needed to show you for today's video. So there we are. So, as you can hear from the video, there's two things that are apparent. First thing being, she's not a strong singer. I think that was pretty obvious. She's not a strong singer. If you had to sort of compare the performance, I would kind of compare it to what you would expect to hear when you go to your elementary kids play that they put on at the end of the year and the kids perform. You know, that's kind of what it sounded like, right? Or maybe for those of you who go to church, right, and the children's choir is performing, that's kind of what you expect to hear. So you got that. And then even just from I get that it would apparently they didn't ask her to do a lot of moves, but even just from a movement standpoint, it was just kind of like, it almost seemed like she was confused on what she was supposed to do, and so she made it happen. But so there's been a lot of complaints on the internet about the idea of nepotism, and this is what's wrong with nepotism. But I'm not going to argue about nepotism, because nepotism is actually very common when you think about it. I mean, she's obviously not the first childhood performer that has gotten a role because of nepotism. It would seem the play here is the production company that put on The Lion King here is the same production company that produces the show. I don't know what they're calling it now, Keeping Up with Kardashians, whatever they call the show. So it's the same production company that produces both shows. And so the what's being insinuated is the showrunner for this particular program obviously works for the production company. And, they reached out, they said, hey, can she do it? And pretty much from there, it was kind of like, of course. And so she got the part. So you have two arguments here. So you got the nepotism argument from the people who hate nepotism, supposedly. And then you got the argument from parents, right? So they're obviously, whether or not they just gave the role and they didn't audition kids, or whether they did audition kids and Maybe she auditioned too. I don't know. But ultimately, right, they obviously went with her. And knowing how the entertainment industry is, you can imagine there were kids who were turned down for this role, or again, assuming they auditioned for it anyway, they were turned down for this role who more than likely could have done a much better job from a singing standpoint. And perhaps, again, I don't know what acting she was supposed to be doing as far as movement there, but perhaps had a better flow with the rest of the cast, because clearly the rest of the cast had a lot going on in terms of movement. And so you got those parents who are obviously upset, right? Because here they are, they work years and years, right, for their kids to get these kinds of opportunities. And here you have a little girl who, because of her mother, got an opportunity that she clearly wasn't ready for, right? I mean, there's no way to argue she performed well in this performance. Now, they say at the show they gave her a standing ovation, but let's be honest. What are you going to do? Boo a kid? I mean, you've already paid. They say the minimum ticket cost was $60. 17,500 people. They say it fits. I imagine they sold it out. So 17,500 people. The minimum ticket cost $60. Who knows what the top ticket cost, but you figure it was probably at least $200-300, maybe even $500 or more, perhaps. Who knows? And then you get the key performance, and it's kind of like, this is all we got. So, there's a lot of arguments. But when it comes to nepotism and the thing that people are driving, to me, it's like, come on, y'all. Nepotism is this country. So the idea that she got it, that's not really what y'all mad about. Because this country runs on nepotism. What y'all mad about is that in this particular case, this was nepotism showing a child who wasn't ready for the spotlight. And that's what you're upset about. You're upset that this is a child who's not ready for the spotlight. And you can make those arguments if you want, but the idea that nepotism is the problem here, unfortunately, that's the way the game goes. It's Hollywood. Hollywood is about relationships. And what better relationships do you have when your father, your mother has been acting for a number of years? Some of these people have fathers and mothers who are big time producers in Hollywood. And so, yeah, their kids get parts. And some of those kids are ready. I mean, you think about, I was reading an article, they talked about Sofia Coppola, whose father is Francis Ford Coppola, right? The guy who directed some of the greatest movies of all time, they say, right? His daughter gets in the game. Maybe she got in the game because of who her dad is, but then she got in the game and she was good. And you know what they said after that? Oh, she's good, right? You got a lot of other kids. Tracy Ellis Ross, Maya Rudolph, Rashida Jones, John David Washington, right? Rashida Jones, Maya Rudolph, right? Father's Quincy Jones. You got Tracy Ellis Ross, her mother's Diana Ross, right? All of these kids, you might argue, got places because of their parents, and maybe that's where they got their start. But clearly, they have all shown a penchant to be good at what they do. So, you know what y'all don't do? Y'all don't talk about nepotism when it comes to them, because they're actually good. And so that's what y'all really mad about, is that she wasn't good. At least this, and maybe I heard there was 2 nights. So maybe the first night she wasn't good, and maybe she killed it the second night. I don't know. But that video was not flattering for anybody. Even, you talk about Blue Ivy, right? Blue Ivy has been performing with her mother. I think the show's over now, but she was performing with her mother. They say the first night, again, this is all secondhand for me because I'm not following Beyonce, but whatever. They say on the first night, I saw some video. On the first night, they say she was bad. And now in that film that Beyonce put out about the show, my wife told me that Beyonce told her afterwards, because she wasn't very good, that she had to put in that work if she's going to do this for real, because this is not a play or something to that nature, my wife told me. So clearly, for Beyonce, when her daughter got an opportunity and didn't fulfill the opportunity at the level that she should have, she, checked her, if you will. Now with Kim Kardashian and Kanye, who knows? Who knows if they went backstage and they checked her privately? Knowing Kim Kardashian, If she did, they were probably filming for the show. And so who knows? Maybe one day we'll see that video. Maybe not. Who knows? But clearly that moment she wasn't ready for. But I don't have a problem with nepotism. I think nepotism is the way America runs. I mean, even in the business world, you have nepotism. The one that comes to mind at the moment is the Las Vegas Raiders now, right? Al Davis was the owner for a long time. He passed away. Who got it? He got it. His son got it. You can argue whether or not his son is good. I don't know. They still have a team. They're still running. They're building. So I guess he's doing a great job. I mean, even I think about the Los Angeles Lakers, Jeannie Buss. Her dad had it. He left it to the kids. His son tried to do it, didn't do a great job. Sister came along. Some people say she's doing a great job. Some people say she isn't, But again, nepotism, it's all nepotism. I think even when I think about president, right? The father, George Bush, was president. And then right behind him, here comes the son, George Bush Jr. being president, right? Nepotism, it's everywhere. Like, I don't even know why we're talking about nepotism like it's a shock or a surprise. It's all around us. So I don't have a problem with nepotism. I just have a problem when you don't put people in places for them to succeed. That's the only issue I saw here. They didn't put their daughter in a position where she was going to succeed. And when you put her on a stage, right? You put her on a stage. It's the Hollywood Bowl. That's like classic performance. I even read that this is actually about to be streamed on Disney Plus. So they filmed it live, and at some point it's going to pop up on Disney Plus, and then it's going to play for however long that content sits up on Disney Plus. And so I hope that I got the May 24th performance, and the May 25th performance was amazing. That's what I hope. Because I would hate to think that this is going to live forever on Disney Plus now. And this is the performance that she put out because, it is what it is. But clearly she wasn't ready for the moment. But I don't think nepotism was the issue. I think the issue was not properly preparing their child for the moment that she got. And I think if there's any lesson to be learned here is, as parents, we have to set our children up for success. I think we should encourage them in everything that they do. But in doing so, it's always necessary to set them up for success. And so if you can see that this may not be the place that they shine, I think as parents, it's our role to be like, you know what, baby, this right here may be a little bit too big right now. Let's put this thing on pause and let's come back to it. And I think that's the smart thing to do as a parent. Because when we, again, in her case, her mother's Kim Kardashian, her father's Kanye West. So this bad performance is not going to be the death to her career. But for most people, this might be the death to their career. And so to me, famous parent or not famous parent, you still have to think about what your child is good at and set them up for success. Vocal coaching, right? I mean, acting classes, right? I don't know if they're doing this, but whatever they did in this instance was just they did not prepare, in my opinion, for the moment. And that's my message here. Nepotism, if you got it, you're going to take advantage of it. So I ain't mad at about that. Because every one of y'all who's complaining about nepotism, if y'all could take advantage of nepotism, y'all would be doing it too. Now, y'all may not have the leeway to be bad at something and recover, because she's going to recover from this. No problem. She's going to bounce back. So y'all may not have that luxury, but y'all really don't have a problem with nepotism. Y'all just have a problem when it don't work for you. But nepotism wasn't the issue here. It's parenting, setting your kids up to be the best that they can be and to shine all the time when possible, especially on a big stage. But in Hollywood, if y'all got a problem with nepotism, then y'all need to stay out of Hollywood. because I can guarantee you it's happening way more than y'all think. And so for all the kids and the parents, I should say the parents who are mad about this, perhaps this might be time for y'all to find y'all kids a new career. Because this right here, this nepotism thing that y'all complaining about, it's going to be forever in Hollywood. Because we see it in business. We see it in politics. We're seeing it in sports. Right? Isn't that what they're talking about with Bronny James right now? Nepotism? You got a guy who everybody's arguing is, well, honestly, they're arguing they don't know who he is. That's what they're arguing, really. They don't know what Bronny James is going to be as a player because he didn't spend a lot of time playing in college. His high school career wasn't super amazing. But you know what we do know? His dad is LeBron James. And so if nothing else, we know that his dad is training him to be an NBA player. Whether or not he's going to be one, or a great one anyway, who knows? But nepotism has him knocking on the door. Nepotism has him only choosing 2 out of the 10 places that wanted him to work out. Why? Because his dad is LeBron James. Nepotism. That's not the problem. Just set your kids up to be successful. And no matter what they do, so that when the opportunity comes, they're ready. And on that note, I'm out.